If you have been watching my programs on this metallurgical quality control, then the last part that was uploaded was on MPI part 8 on MPI means magnetic particle inspection. It's a non-destructive testing process in which you can see surface and subsurface scrap without cutting the material, without destroying it. That is why it is called non-destructive. The only condition is in MPI is that the part must be a ferromagnetic, maybe steel, iron or cast iron. This you can check, but non-ferrous you cannot check it. There is a similar process which also comes under NDT, that is in which you can again see without cutting the part, you can see the cracks, but the condition is that cracks must be open to the surface. If the crack is open to the surface, then you can easily see it. The only advantage in this case is that you can see cracks in ferrous as well as non-ferrous like copper, aluminium, brass, all these parts. If the parts are made of all these things, you can see cracks, but the condition only is that it should be open to the surface. It's a very handy process, very portable process. You can take it anywhere, you can check heavy jobs. So, but before going to this part 9, let me remind you my earlier parts. The part 0, it was on introductory part 1 on chemical analysis, part 2 on Brinell hardness test, part 3 on Rockwell hardness test, part 4 on Vickers hardness test, part 5 was on portable hardness testing, cellular scope hardness testing, part 6 was on tensile testing, which was both in English as well as in Hindi, and part 7 was on micro examination. Again, it was on both Hindi and English. And the last part, that was on MPI, magnetic particle inspection, that was also in Hindi and English. I just inform you that I have got a very good response on this magnetic particle inspection. Whatever I have shown, people have appreciated and it has been liked by most of the people. So I hope this part 9 will also be, will get all the similar response. Okay, so without wasting your time, let me start the part 9 on dye penetrant test. Hello friends, welcome on my channel Jagdish Chaube. I hope that all of you are fine and fit. So let's start this part 9 on dye penetrant test. See what I am going to cover. The coverage is types of DPT. I will be generally covering portable type because automation is at very few places, particularly non-ferrous industries like aerospace industries. So I will be covering most of the cases portable DPT system. Then the other one is test equipment or material, test methods and procedures, precautions, problems and possible solutions. And the last slide is on application and advantages of this DPT system. So first of all, define what is dye penetrant. As it says, dye penetrant test, also called liquid penetrant inspection, is an NDT method used for detecting discontinuities open to the surface as cracks, seams, laps, cold surts, isolated porosity in non-porous material like metals, plastic or ceramics. This test may be applied to all non-ferrous material and ferrous material. Means it is one of the NDT process in which the discontinuities which are open to the surface like cracks, seams, laps, cold surts, isolated porosity in non-porous, you see it should be non-porous, such as metals, plastics or ceramics. This can be checked through this method, and this test may be applied to all non-ferrous material and ferrous material. This can be used for all the types of ferrous and non-ferrous, irrespective of whether this material is ferromagnetic or not, like plastics, ceramics and everything. In case of magnetic particle inspection, which I have described earlier in part 8, it was only limited to ferromagnetic material, but this part is, this dye penetrant test is applicable to all ferrous as well as non-ferrous material. So this is one of the advantages of this particular process. So what is the principle behind this? The principle of dye penetrant test is based on the natural phenomenon of capillary action. In this test, the liquid penetrant is drawn into the surface, breaking cracks by capillary action, and then excess surface penetrant is removed, and then a developer, which is basically dry powder, is applied to the surface to draw out the penetrant in the cracks and produce a surface indication. The indication produced are much broader and therefore they are easily visible. So it says that it is basically based on the natural phenomenon of capillary action. What is this capillary action? Is if you put anything, water or something on the glass, if you must have seen it, you see that it gets spread. Similarly, here also we are using the dye penetrant which is of low viscosity and high viscosity but low surface tension is being used, and this spreads into the surface. Okay, and wherever there is a crack or leakage or something which is coming on the surface, it gets into that, and when you apply a dry powder as a portable developer, then this dry powder absorbs whatever is inside the cracks, and then you get a red indication like this, whatever has been shown in the picture. And since the indications are much broader, it is easily visible. You can see it with your naked eyes also. So this is the principle behind this DPT. Now the material used. Generally, as you see here, 3 bottles I am showing. The one is C, P and D. C stands for cleaner, P stands for penetrant, and D stands for developer. So cleaner is basically organic solvent, which is a colorless liquid. Then penetrant is a color contrast, generally red dye is used. Then there are other also fluorescent, and then there are systems where dual purpose is there. Okay, but in general, most of the industry we are using a red dye system. Okay, then comes to the developer. Again, in one case it is a dry powder, and the other case it is solution of suspension of powder in water or solution of powder in water. In one case it is suspension, in the other case it is solution. And then the third one is suspension of powder in volatile, non-aqueous solvent, flammable or non-flammable. So these are basically 3 types, but generally in the industry we are using generally dry powder system of developer. Okay. Now this test method and procedure. This says basically what are the steps involved in DPT. See, the first step is cleaning. But prior to cleaning, there is even more step that is called pre-cleaning, where because whatever item you are getting, maybe it is a rusty, it is having some paint mark or something, the first you have to remove those things. So that operation is known as pre-cleaning. After pre-cleaning, then you come to cleaning, where you use this cleaner, what I have shown earlier in the previous picture. Then after that, you apply developer and then allow it for some time so that it gets into the crevices. This crack is there, so it gets into that. After that, whatever the excess penetrant is there, that you have to wipe out. This is the third step. Then the fourth step is, after wiping out thoroughly, then you have to again clean it through cleaner, and then you have to inspect. This shows a light. Basically, this is for a fluorescent. Otherwise, with naked eyes also you can see the red dye color, which is used for developer. You can see through naked eyes. But in case of fluorescent, like MPI, you have to see under black light. And then finally you have to again clean and neat and clean and keep it there. So these are the 6 steps: cleaner, penetrant, wiping out, developer, inspect, and then post clean. These are the steps. This standard, BIS standard, is Indian Standard 3658 1999. For details, if you want to know more about all this, then you have to refer this standard, because it gives much more detail about this dye penetrant test. And whosoever is interested in knowing the details, he must refer this standard. Okay. Now, what is the procedure in this? The procedure is, DPT is based on again same thing, capillary action, where low surface tension fluid penetrates into the clean and dry surface breaking discontinuities. Means again the same thing, you are putting this low surface tension fluid like dry red dye you are putting on the surface, and that goes into the surface breaking discontinuities. Penetrant is applied to this test component by dipping. See, this penetrant can be applied by spraying also, then by dipping, spraying, and the other one is brushing also. But what I have shown is basically aerosol, where this penetrant is there and you have to push it and it will spray on the surface. So after adequate penetration time has been allowed, you have to allow sufficient time so that it goes into the cracks. The excess penetrant is removed, then you have to remove this excessive penetrant, and then you apply developer. The developer helps to draw penetrant out of the flaw so that an invisible indication becomes visible. What does developer do? It takes out the penetrant which is inside the crack, and then it develops that red color indication, okay, which is much more visible as compared to the other process. So you see that in case of fluorescent, you see under black light, but in case of red dye, you have to see with naked eye, you can see it. Inspection is performed under ultraviolet or white light depending on the type of dye used, fluorescent or non-fluorescent. This again I have explained. Then fluorescent penetrant is more sensitive compared to non-fluorescent. This is one more thing. I'll show you the next figure. You see where we have used fluorescent, then the even very fine cracks are visible. Just see it. I think it will come after this. So what are the defects that can be detectable? So defects during processing, like in forging operation, you can find cracks, laps, quench cracks also. Then grinding cracks, some of the time we are grinding this flash part of the forging, and wherever there is an excessive grinding, it develops crack. So this can also be seen through this dye penetrant because it is open to the surface. In casting again, there are shrinkages cracks, cold sets, crater cracks. This crater crack during solidification of weld. You must have seen that during welding, at the both ends where the solidification starts and ends, you must see a great crater type of thing. Okay, it's a crater. So that also can be seen through this dye penetrant test. Then cracks during service. When the part is applied and it runs onto the system, assembled, and then it runs, then during service also, sometimes you find this fatigue cracks. They have developed, and then this also you can see through dye penetrant. And stress corrosion cracks, particularly in marine application, this corrosion cracks develops and they come up to the surface, and then you can see through dye penetrant test. And the last one is cracks in seats or tubings. Again, it occur at a point of maximum stress. Wherever maximum stress is there, crack will develop, and this you can see through dye penetrant. So this I was telling in the previous slide, type of defects, some of the photographs you have seen. So this is something like welding joints. See, this is again a confusing thing, all because of excessive red dye. Cracks are here, very fine cracks are here. This has been shown here. So if it is totally washed out properly, wiped out properly, you could have seen only this. But since it has not been properly wiped out, that is why you are seeing all this. This is a confusing thing. But cracks are visible here. Okay. In this also you see this white powder, on that this red indication is there of crack. Okay. Here also you can see number of cracks which is inside and coming on the surface. This is the white powder applied. And this I was telling you about the fine cracks which can be seen under dark light, black light, and the fluorescent penetrant is used instead of red dye. This also you see, these are all porosity marks at particular places. So you can see even scattered porosity also, or connected porosity also you can see here. This is the red dye system which has been used here. So these are the various photographs I have just shown you, just to just to memorize that how it looks in the crack system when you do this DPT system. Then precautions. What are the precautions to be taken? First is the surface must be properly pre-cleaned and free from oil, grease, varnish, paint, scale, rust, corrosion products. Okay, you have to do a pre-cleaning. Then cleaner are organic solvents in DPT and are flammable and toxic. So necessary precautions to be taken by the inspector. This part is also very important. This cleaner you are using, that is a organic solvent basically, and in this case you have to see that it may be flammable also. So you have to go through the manufacturer instructions. Every time whenever you get it, you must read the manufacturer recommendation, what he is recommending, and then take your safety precaution accordingly. Then avoid excessive buildup of penetrant on the part by spraying. When you are spraying this red or dipping also even, in that case also you have to avoid this excessive buildup of penetrant. Otherwise it will confuse you. The fourth point is the length of the time. The penetrant must remain on the part to allow proper penetration, should not exceed more than the manufacturer recommendation. Generally it is 5 to. What is dwell time? Dwell time is nothing but by the time you keep penetrant on the surface so that it got into the cracks. So that also should be as per manufacturer recommendation. But in general it is 5 to 30 minutes. You have to keep that penetrant open to the surface so that it goes inside the crack. Then ensure proper removal of excess penetration by wiping out, this I have earlier explained, so that there is, otherwise it will interfere with the result. Then personal safety of the inspector must be adhered. This is again because a lot of organic solvents are being used and they are flammable also sometimes. So accordingly you have to take precaution. Particularly the inspector must use hand gloves while doing this test. And the last one is inspection area must be well ventilated, because they release some fumes and other thing. So wherever you are doing, it has to be properly ventilated. Otherwise it will create a suffocation if you are doing in a closed area, and this may create health hazard problem to the inspector. So it must be done in a well ventilated area. Now what are the problems and their solution? The main problem basically is confusing indication. Sometimes you get confused whether this is crack or not. Everything seems to be cracked, but it is not. In that case, you have to redo it. Means you have to again wipe out the area, clean thoroughly, apply penetrant but not in excess, wipe out again and clean thoroughly, then spray developer and inspect. So this thing you have to do it properly second time by applying the penetrant for a sufficient time but not more, and it should not be in excess also, and proper wiping and cleaning is required. And then you check, apply developer and then check under either naked eyes or under black light. So this time you can see it and you can confirm and this is a particular crack is here or not. Then indications appear very light. Sometimes indications are there, they give a slight indication, but they are not very clear, very light type. In this case, give more time for penetration. Whenever you are giving the penetration, this penetration time has to be increased slightly so that it goes into the cracks. Maybe due to the production hurry, sometimes you are spraying the penetrant but wiping out very early. So this will create something again confusion. So better give a more time for penetration, but not more than whatever has been recommended by the manufacturer. And then use fluorescent penetrant also. If you are using this, then if the fine crack is there and not visible or maybe a doubtful, then it can create a very clear-cut indication, like I have shown in the previous slide. Very fine cracks are also visible when you use fluorescent penetrant. The last one is note. Wipe out your hands thoroughly to avoid any impression of your fingers on the test piece. This happens generally. I have seen most of the cases. The people do it, but if you see, there are many spots on the test object, white and red, combination of white and red, then it doesn't look nice also. So you have to wipe out very thoroughly so that the surface appearance of the part test piece is not destroyed. Okay, it has to be properly cleaned at the end. So this is required at the last. Then application and advantage. It's predominantly used on non-ferrous material in aerospace industries, shipping and offshore, petrochemical industries, and stainless. This is basically what are the various types of industry where this test is being used. People are checking cracks through these tests. In aerospace particularly, there are automation system also, because there is a mass production, so it's generally automation is required. But in most of the cases, we are using only portable system. That is why I have described only portable system. Then, what are the components that can be checked? This also describes in the second Stinger. Some of the common parts tested are stainless steel, welded joints, aluminium alloy joint, turbine blades, stainless steel casting fittings, then castings, forgings, aerospace engine parts. All these things can be checked through this dye penetrant test. As you see, it contains both ferrous as well as non-ferrous. So, with this is the last slide on this dye penetrant. I hope this must have given you again good enough knowledge about dye penetrant test, and must have answered many questions you must be having when you are using this dye penetrant test in your organization. So with this, I will not go further. What I am saying, this particular with program, I am ending this MQC series 1. Okay, I will go for MQC series 2 after some time, but till then, this particular part, you see it, refer it. If you are new to the channel, then you subscribe also, okay, and then give your comments also, so that I can take care in future application. So, thank you very much. Thanks a lot.